Hello, this is Lani with Broken Seashell Stamping, and today I'm going to do a little bit different paper pumpkin alternative, and it's kind of a mixture of two different kits, and it's all inspired off of this. It's just kind of a thing to show you that when you see something and you think it's pretty, it can definitely be an inspiration on different cards or even scrapbook layouts that you could put together. And as soon as I saw this at the store, at Bath & Body Works, I immediately thought of the paper pumpkin kit with the boats and the Waterside Retreat, which was one of my favorite kits, or bundles. So that's what I'm going to put together today. It's going to use two different kits. One of them is the June. This one's June. In my other videos, I told you before, I use these boxes to condense my kits, and I just put the date on them, and then once I use all the materials, then I'll recycle this not recycle, but use it for a new kit. And I just like the plastic. They're a little smaller. It's just, you find them on Amazon or maybe even Michael's. They are photo storage kits for 5x7 photos, and they work pretty well. So the two paper pumpkin kits I'm using today is April, which is the one that had the Father's Day stuff, and my favorite kit because I love this theme, and the watercoloring of this kit was my favorite, this Lakeside Retreat. So that's the one we're going to use. And then the other kit is June 2026, and that is this one here with the pretty bicycles. So I'm going to clean up my desk just a little bit here to show you all the measurements, and then we'll get to putting these together and with this theme. Okay, so the kit that I'm going to use in addition to, well, not the kits, but the paper and the other coordinating papers stuff for this particular card is the Waterside Retreat DSP, and that's item number 167,920. That's available. All this bundle is available except for the dies right now. They're still, as of today, this is the 10th of August. The dies are not available, but you could get the stamp set and you can get the paper if you just want those. I am not currently using the die cuts for this particular card, and I'm not even using this. We're just using the paper pumpkin stamps from both of those kits. Although I did grab another happy birthday, just because I didn't really want to use the birthday one that came with the kits, but we can get to that here later. So the paper you're going to need is crumb cake. So what I did is I looked at the soap. I'll set this aside. And at first I thought, oh, basic beige. That looks like basic beige. So you look at next to it, it's pretty close. But then I thought, let me check crumb cake, and look at that. Crumb cake next to it was really much more the coordinating color. So instead of the basic beige, I decided to use crumb cake. So we're going to use a piece of crumb cake cardstock. This is the paper. I mean, how can you get it's like they were together. I love this soap. So that's the piece I cut out of the Waterside Retreat, but we're going to use the crumb cake for the base. So this is going to be a Z-fold, so you want to cut your paper at, let's see, I have that double check. Yeah, 4 1/4 by 10 1/2. So it's 4 1/4 this way and 10 1/2 this way. So you can pause this, get your materials out if you want, but we're going to use that size, and it's going to be scored at 2 1/2 and 5. So there's the 5-inch fold, and then you're going to Z-fold the other one at 2 1/2. So that's going to give us this fun fold. I just wanted to use this to kind of bring this whole picture together as a card. And the Waterside Retreat DSP, which is absolutely beautiful. You cut out the different pieces. So this is what the panel I used was, this one right here. It might have been up here around there somewhere, but this is the die cut or the DSP that we used. Now if you look at the back, that is the same design that we're going to use that was in this paper pumpkin kit. It's just smaller. So we'll get to that here in just a moment. But if you don't have the paper pumpkin kit, in fact, I need to check to see if that is still available for an order. But if you don't have the paper pumpkin kit, you can definitely use the back side of this. But I found it so hard to use that side when all of these images are just so beautiful. So the image we're going to use today is this little lakeside view. Then from the April 2026 kit, you're going to get out this cardstock, and you're going to cut your piece off of here at 2 1/4. Make sure I got my notes here so we can get that. Yeah, 2 1/4 by 4 inches. So you're going to cut one of those. That's going to be the front panel. Then the next piece is this green card, and that one is coming from the bicycle one, which is June of 2026. So you're going to pull that one out. Now I've used it for a couple different ones, but this is the card, and you're just going to cut off the same size as the lines, which is 2 1/4 by 4 inches. Those are going to be our 2 panels. And then you can save these for another card. Lots of different options that you can do, but this is what I picked. So to recap, we've got a piece of crumb cake at 4 1/4 by 10 1/2, scored at 2 1/2 inches and 5, and then folded together. We've got 2 panel pieces at 2 1/4 by 4 inches. And then we've got our little lakeside, and I didn't give you the measurement on this. This one, when you cut the size off the paper, it's about the right size, but you do need to cut off just a little bit to make this 5 1/4 by 4. So it'll be the same size as those, just longer. And then for the kit from the, I keep saying the June, that's right, June kit, you're going to get out the big bicycle. And the big bicycle needs these little greenery that goes with it. So that's our flowers. Now this is for a different card, but I'm going to use it on this one. If you don't have any of these left, let's say you've used all of your paper pumpkin kits, then you can easily take a deckled circle or a stylish shapes. If you do that, the size you want to use, let me make sure here, it's going to be about this one right here off the deckled circles, and that is 2 1/8. So if you don't have this little half moon, little moon thing here, then you can cut your own. Okay, so I did check. The June has a refill available, but not the actual past kit. The April does not have a refill kit available, but it does have the actual kit. So if you're a new subscriber to Paper Pumpkin, you can still order this past kit, but the refills are gone. So that is as of today, August 10th. All right, so we're going to use the bicycle piece. I also grabbed out this little, it's like a license plate type of piece for the card. And now you can stamp this. This is the flowers. The flowers go here on this kit if you haven't done this kit yet. And that is the stamp set that came with it. Let's see, I've got, so this stamp set here. So these flowers go right onto this. I make a copy of that. I really wish that Stampin' Up! Would put the print on the on the stamps again, but they're not. So I make a copy on just the copy machine of my printer to give me a better look. So if you want to go ahead and stamp the flowers, they go right there. But I ended up, because I changed the color scheme of this exact card due to the lakeside look that we're doing with it. Set that side. Ooh, well, that just stuck to it. So if you wanted to do a coordinating color and use this, there's the 3 colors I'm using: Old Olive, Misty Moonlight, and Crumb Cake. So those are the colors that I've chosen for this particular kit because of this lovely water bottle, soap bottle. But you see it has a little basket here with more greenery. There's a little bit more blue, a tiny bit of a green color here on the bicycle. So you could use any of those, but what I wanted to use was actually the Misty Moonlight, because that's one of my accent colors here, is the Misty Moonlight. So if you got the coordinating dies, which I don't believe they're still available, they were April to June, and it's Wonderful Scene dies. It's number 168, 60, 66, 65. I'm not sure if those are still available. I also make a copy, it was my mom's idea, a scanned copy of the dies so I know which ones are in this kit. So this little die cut here is perfect for those flowers. It coordinates completely, because Stampin' Up! Is awesome like that and does all these coordinating flowers and die cuts. So if you wanted to do the die cut, you can do that, or you can stamp it. I'm probably going to do the die cut because I think those flowers look prettier. So I will get to that towards the end. This one I'm going to put away so I don't lose it, because it's pretty light colored. So, and I got the idea from one of the other demonstrators to mark on the plastic so I know where the pieces go, and that really helps too. All right, we don't need this bicycle, so go ahead and put that away. So here's the die cut in the pink, which this color actually looks really good as well. I don't remember what color that is. So I'm gonna put that back in here, but the die cut itself really comes out good. All right, put those in there. Right back. Now I'm done with the card base on this one that I cut. So if you see, that green goes with this bike, but I'm not using that bike. At least not, I haven't found a good use for it, and I didn't want to do that card. Okay, let's get some assembling done, then we'll get to the flowers. All right, and just remember, there's no rule that says you have to use all your paper pumpkin kits in the same stuff. You can always kind of coordinate with different options and just completely go off the grid if you wanted with a completely different card. I've done that on a few of them. I love having the kits as a guide. Just cutting off these little nibs here. I think I got most of those. There's not a big problem with them, but I just like to trim it off for my own personal preference, because I see the little pieces on my finished card, and for some reason it just bothers me. So I have to clean them off. If I can't get them with the scissors, I'll use a little bit of like a sanding block or a emery board as well, just to clean off these little nibs there. All right, that looks pretty good. All right. There's for that. Now, what you want to do is kind of stamp on these before we assemble them. So I did the little bird. Well, I made a card already with this, and I can go ahead and show it to you if you want to look at it, or skip ahead. I wanted to try this with a different color scheme first along the same lines, but I didn't do the crumb cake. I went more with the lid, which is this dark blue. So our finished card is going to look similar to this one right here. So when you open it, you get this beautiful little scene. So when it sits down on someone's desk, or it just looks like a nice pretty scene. And then there is where our sentiment will be for happy birthday. Now you can even stamp in there before, so that is definitely doable, but this is going to be the ultimate card. I just wanted it more like the bottle of soap, so I wanted to change the background, but I really liked the way this one came out as well. So there's the little sneak peek of the finish. So we're gonna put some stamps, not too many on this one because it's gonna get covered up by the bike, and you can always add more, but we are going to use the Old Olive, which that is listed on both of those kits as a coordinating color. Which I love when they use Old Olive. That's one of my favorites. Okay, so for this one, I want to put the cattails up a little higher because that bicycle, so if you see the bicycle, it's going to go right around towards the edge. It's going to have to go pretty high up. So what you can do is you can set it on your grid lines. So I'm going to start stamping right at that thick line. Now it doesn't have to be perfect because it is a background. And I actually angled it a little bit like that on the other one. So we can go a little bit right here. And then for some reason, the butterflies stuck out. And I really wanted to put the butterflies in the area where the bike handle was at. So with the butterflies, I did Misty Moonlight, but I'm getting a little ahead. I want to go ahead and do all the Old Olive as we've got it out. So we're going to put a couple of them there, and we'll get to the butterflies later. This one here, we're just going to pretty much accent it. I didn't want to do a lot, so I'm just going to do one right here, and maybe even a tiny little bit on this side, just to give it a little something. Let's do right there. So there's our greenery on the other insert, and then the last part is this one. I just wanted to add a little bit more to it, especially because we're going to put the sentiment in there. Oops, let's stick my hands. So I just kind of randomly put it around. They're just going to look pretty, so you don't have to worry, but if you want to put them in the same areas that I'm putting them, just go right ahead. So there's the 3 I put there. And I think that's pretty good. And then our little half moon circle that we're gonna leave for you to write. Now, if you want a little bigger, because you write bigger, again, you can write on the other side of the bicycle that's gonna be sticking out in the basket. Just maybe write that before you put the flowers down. I would have that be your last. So on the sentiment area for this circle, I'm just gonna put a little bit on the sides. Oh, there's a hair. Not too much because we want to leave room to write. So that should conclude the amount of cattails, but we could always add more if we decided we want more. And again, this one came from the April kit. So let's put that one aside. All right, we're done for now with Old Olive. So go ahead and get out your Misty Moonlight, and we're gonna stamp those ones. Now I do have the crumb cake out, but I didn't use a lot of the stamping with the crumb cake. Not that you couldn't. You could stamp a sentiment or your words on this part, but I liked the Misty Moonlight because it just matched the top of that soap bottle. I'm trying to think of the word. So go ahead and get out the birdies. We're going to use the birds. This is from the April kit. And I just put the little birds right up here on the top in the Misty Moonlight. And I also really wanted the birds up on the green block because this is all on the inside. So this is like the far away part of the card, and then on the front, I'm going to do the butterflies. Now, for the envelope, you could use either one. Let me show you. So this one would look really good with the kit we're using. It's got the green. You could use, let's see, no, pink doesn't really good. I think there was a yellow one. I think I used it already. But that one works really well. However, the envelope in the April is a really pretty blue, which I think I like that one better. So I like to try to do it all at once, and since I plan on using this envelope, I'm going to put some little birdies up in the sky here where our address would go, and some right there. That way I'm done with the birds, and we're ready for the envelope as well. Okay, sentiment in here. Now, I used in the June kit, I already have it out, the inside I did Have a Lovely Day. So that's going to be in Misty Moonlight. If you wanted to do crumb cake, you could, but it's a little light. So we're just going to put Have a Lovely Day right there. And I'm wondering about even just putting a little bit of the bicycle here. You could totally do that. Put a little bit shadow of the bicycle, but I'm not going to do that at the moment. All right, last but not least is the butterflies. So I'm going to put the little butterflies in the corner. Okay, so if you look next to the birds and you look at these butterflies, those are some ginormous butterflies. So what I did is because like I said, this is the inside that's going to be like the far away view. And then the close-up part of our focal is the bike, which is closer, so the butterflies can still be their size. However, I did also just use the corner and just use the little butterfly because I thought, well, it's a little bit big for a butterfly. Let's put the other one like around there. And there's a little shadow of a big one. It's going to be okay. I didn't clean off my stamp very well. And I just realized I believe there's one more. I did do another cattail down here, and I forgot about that one. So go ahead and find that stamp set. Get that back out. And so I can use that next. Now, the Misty Moonlight we're also going to use on the little bike plate. So I used a different happy birthday. So this happy birthday is what I used because I didn't like the one that, well, I like it. It's beautiful, but it doesn't fit. The one here, this happy birthday just does not fit. So you could find any happy birthday stamp that fits in there. This one I happen to use from The Right Words, which is retired. But there's multiple stamp sets that have a small happy birthday, and some of them are paper pumpkin kits. So just find or you could use the best wishes and have this a different card. This could be a thank you card. You can use thanks. There are other ones for for fathers, but you can do you're an inspiration, you're a lifesaver, older, wiser, better. Any of those would work. Then you've got these ones here, the thank you and best wishes. So all of those sentiments will work. I just wanted mine to say happy birthday. So I'm going to go ahead and do happy birthday. On here. Get it straight. There. Now on my sample card, I did the little outline of the stamp, and so I did just do a little tiny bit of the butterfly like in the corner. So if you wanted to add a little piece of that, you could do that as well, but I'm gonna leave that there. All right, so the last of the Old Olive is the cattails that I forgot, and that is going to be in this bottom right corner. So get that back out. I think I'm done with Have a Lovely Day. I apologize if you hear my fan. It has been really, really hot, and I do not have air conditioning in my house, so it's just fans. All right, now that we've got our stuff stamped, it's about time to start assembling, and I'll be back with the die cutting of the flowers first. I'm gonna do a little bit of cleanup here. Okay, so there is the cut out flowers using the Misty Moonlight and the die cuts. So I use my little homemade poker. I've used that poker for over, I'd say over 20 years. I've been using that, or 15 years. It's been a long time. It was the very first poker I ever made, because this is all I had. It was a bottle of wine. I don't even drink wine anymore. And a sewing needle or whatnot. So anyway, that's a whole side story. You might have seen that pop up in other things before, and that's where it came from. All right, so this is the die that I used in this particular card. But again, you can use you can use the stamps in the set, the kit, or you could find any other little flowers if you already use that on your own cards already. I'm a little bit late in the game. Some of these kits I haven't been able to play with yet because things have just been really busy this year. So all right, we're gonna adhere these down. So I'm gonna let's do this in the correct order. Get the multi-purpose glue out and just put a good chunk of it on there. And we'll do the inside in just a moment. Make sure it's upright. So this is going to go on the front panel here. Oh, it looks so good on the crumb cake. I think I like it better than the Misty Moonlight. And here's our old olive. Now, if you didn't have this kit and you needed a different panel, most of these colors would work from the kit. You could use 2 of this one. You could use this little ticket type one, any of the ones that you wanted. You could use the background of that. I mean, even the bridge or dock if you wanted to. It's up to you, but I like that plain green one. Make sure I got my adhesive over there. Okay, now we are putting the last panel on. This is that pretty paper. Oh my gosh, this Waterside Retreat. I absolutely love this. Usually the beach ones are always my favorite, but for some reason this one really grabbed my attention. All right, now the fun part, the bicycle. That's the easy parts here. Seriously, the bicycle is pretty simple. All right, so we're just going to put that bicycle right there on the edge. Now, one of the tricks that I've learned from other demonstrators, I believe this one was from Rachel Tessman, is the Post-it. So you're going to flip that over, put your Post-it note right up to the corner, to the line, so you know where your adhesive gets to go. And as I mentioned, if you're going to stamp or use this side as where you're going to write, you might want to do it now. Otherwise, because this Z-fold is already kind of has some depth, I am going to adhere this down completely and pop up the other pieces. But now we know which area needs to be glued without going over. So be kind of nice, not too heavy gluing on it, because you don't want it to come off, but you also don't want it to splash or sploosh around. So put that. And this is always the fun part. So what I did here is I laid this down, and then I sat this folded like that. No. Oh, I got old olive on the back there. Let's just go back this way. This is what I did. So just set it like this and right up to the edge. And then if you flip that over, your Post-it's still intact. And now we just make sure we glue that down and remove our Post-it note. Voila! Now we've got our little bicycle and that beautiful background with our sentiment there. All right, now we get to decorate the basket. So go ahead and get out your greenery. And this is the Misty Moonlight. And the basket, I put the sign last because I want to make sure the flowers don't overlap. So I placed these first because if you see here, it's got kind of a little space specifically for it. So I wanted to try to match, but yet put them differently. So it's kind of like a little puzzle piece there. All right. So get the glue out. These I didn't pop up. I just left them as they were. So you just put a little dot. Now you can use the little pieces that come in the kit for this as well. I just much more handier with the green glue. Well, multi-purpose is like calling it green. So there's that one. And this, I just kind of fold it like bread over. So you're making your sandwich. You put your bread, I don't know, does anyone else do that? Flip your bread the right direction so it doesn't go on the wrong side when you're putting your stuff on there. I'm not sure. Get some glue on there because that popped up. All right, last set of flowers. Now I did also blitz this up a little bit with the Wink of Stella when we're done, but we do that last. Oh, as I turn it around. All right. There's the last set of flowers. Too pretty. All right. And this is where we're going to do the dimensionals. So get some of those out. I didn't use a lot. I think I used 4. There's those. All right. Okay, so you're just going to put this on there. I tried to offset it just a little because I wanted to see some more of the back. So before you finalize where you want it, yep, that looks good. And then you push it down. I did pop the little bike sign up too. I used the mini dimensionals that are with the kit, and I used 3 of those. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And just put that somewhere right in the middle. All right. So there's our happy birthday card there. We have a lovely day. Now we just need a little spot to write whatever you want to write to your loved one or friend. And this half circle thing, now if you wanted to make your own half circle, you could use that measurement of the deckled circle and just chop off the very end. And I did not pop this up because you don't want it to stick up too much and change your layout of your card. All right, and put that right down. The line is right above, right to the bottom of that. And then the bicycle will cover that little spot, and that's where you can put love. You can also write on this side too, but you also have that option with the bike there. Okay, so there is our birthday card made with 2 paper pumpkin kits. Let's do that Wink of Stella. I'd put it on the butterflies here, on each of these little flowers. And this way you don't have any little embellishments. You could put some embellishments on here if you wanted. The little butterflies are really cute too. I think they came with the set. Now I also did just a little line of Stella on the bike, the metal pieces of the bike, just because, you know, the bike would probably be shiny and metallic, so gives it a little depth there. I'll put a little on this butterfly. All right, so there is our inspirational card. So can you see the whole soap bottle there? So I hope you enjoyed that, taking something that is not related to cards whatsoever to get inspired to do a birthday card. And thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you get to make this, I would love to see it. And again, here's the 2 different types. You can see both of them. I don't know, which one do you like better? The Misty Moonlight as the background or the Crumb cake? Because I can't decide. Here's that in the middle. All right, there you have it. Stampin' Up! Paper pumpkin alternative with a twist. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and until next time, you know, keep on stamping.